Audio Jungle.
Welcome back, my flock. The Badraven here, and we are on part 8 of 10 of the Badraven Scary Movie Collection. And you guessed it, we're up to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. When this movie came out back in 1982, you got to look at it this way. We didn't have internet. We didn't have nothing but word of mouth about movies and stuff. And you had your trailers on television, which really didn't tell you a lot about the movie. Not like today where they give you so many different types of trailers that you're almost sick of a movie time it comes out. This day and time, just kind of imagine a more rural type experience when it comes to these movies. So when Halloween 3 was even known to be even coming out, we were all ecstatic, because it probably trickled down to us the very last, because being in the eastern part of Kentucky, it ain't like we were like at the head of like New York City. So it took a while for us to find out things. When I heard of this, I was really excited because I liked the first two Halloweens, and I was kind of curious of how they was going to bring Michael Myers back. Little did we know back then that they had decided to do an anthology type series with the Halloween series, which meant like they were going to do a different story every around Halloween time when a movie would come out with Halloween as the title. Like it would be, this one was going to be Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, and then Halloween 4 would probably be something else. It would be called Halloween 4, but have a subtitle for some other type of story. So they were trying to break away from the Michael Myers theme. And I get that, but at the time I didn't understand that because then we were trained to think the next movie had to do something with all the ones before it. It wasn't like we had anything else like that I know of at the time that we could actually just say, well, oh yeah, they're going to do something different. So we was expecting Michael Myers because Halloween was the title, and Michael Myers is Halloween. That's the whole thing we always knew. So when the movie came out, and I didn't watch it at the theater because I was very young, we watched it on like a movie channel, like the movie channel or HBO or something like that. I know, and it was very disappointing for us because we had the music from Halloween, we had the title for Halloween, we had the season of Halloween in the movie, but it just was no Michael Myers. So it didn't do very good at the box office. I don't know what the exact totals are on it, but it flopped. So everybody at the movie company decided, we need to get back to Michael Myers. So that's why it came out with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So this one is Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch. And there's the title where you behind it. And like I said, I didn't like it at the time. But over the years, this movie has gotten to be a very pleasant surprise for me because I like it now. I like the way that they kind of went off script because after you've seen Myers be destroyed as many times as he has in all the other sequels past this, I can see why they wanted to not go down that route. I understand both sides of the coin for the crowd's version and the company's version. But this movie is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and it was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. He's a very good director. I like the way he directed this movie. He said he was very inspired by Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's it. And he kind of patterned this movie as the same kind of feel as that movie. So if you've watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the older movie, you understand what I'm talking about. But he directed this, and we have stars Tom Atkins as Daniel, or Chalice, excuse me, Stacy Nilkin as Ellie Grimbridge, Danny O'Hurley as Colonel Cochran, and he was from the Police Academy movies, and he also played the alien in The Last Starfighter. All right, let's get into this. This movie came out in 1982, and I'll give you a rundown of my remembrances. I got this on VHS. I don't have the VHS tape here with me, but I have this on VHS, and I have it on Blu-ray with part of the Halloween set that I've been reviewing. When I watched this movie, all right, it starts out in a guy running down the road. I think it's all set in California. He's running down the street at night, and he's got a pumpkin mask in his hand, and his car is chasing him. He's running, and he gets into this like junkyard or a place with a bunch of cars, maybe a repo place, whatever. There's a bunch of cars there, and he's hiding out from this car that's chasing him, and he kind of loses them for a second. Then the car catches up with him, and one of the guys kind of confronts him, and the guys are chasing him like in suits and stuff. And this guy seems to be like just a regular worker type fella, work clothes on. He grabs the older guy with the mask, and he tries to kill him. Well, he gets out of this predicament, and he gets away to a gas station. Calls the police and stuff, and the guy gets put in the hospital. Well, we get to the hospital. We got Tom Atkins, and he's a very good actor. I've seen him in The Howling. He plays a doctor, and when he gets he's at the hospital that night when this guy comes in. While he's there, some of those guys come back that were trying to catch him then to get him again. Well, they get into the hospital, and they walk kind of strange. They're like, this is a spoiler review, people, so it's going to give a lot of the movie away. So don't watch it if you don't want to hear about the story. So he get the guys, one of the henchmen, get in there into the room of the patient, and he grabs him by the nose area and just yanks up on it and crushes his skull or sticks his fingers in his eyes or something. I don't know. It's one of those two types of kills. He kind of sticks his fingers through his eyes and pulls his skull up and kills him. When he starts to walk away, and the nurse comes in there and asks him why he's there, this fella. She sees that the guy is dead in the bed. She screams to have the security to stop the fella. He gets outside the hospital, and Tom Atkins' character, Daniel, chases him out there. When the guy gets into the car, he pours gasoline all over himself inside the car and lights the match, and it burns. The car explodes. So they don't know why. Why would this person come in there and kill this guy and then set himself on fire in the parking lot? So that sets off an intriguing thing. What's going on with this? I mean, the guy that had the mask had spoken to Daniel, the Tom Atkins character, in the emergency room and said, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us, talking about assuming something to do with the mask. That makes the Daniel character very confused of what's going on here and what would happen to this fella. The next day, the daughter of the gentleman that passed away, Ellie, played by Stacy Nilkin, she comes in and has to identify the body and everything, and she meets Atkins, Daniel character, talks to her about her dad and asks why would anybody want to kill him and all that. And she tells him that he was going to pick up some mask at the Silver Shamrock warehouse in town, and they couldn't figure out what went wrong and why this would happen to him. So the Daniel character has an ex-wife and had two kids by his ex-wife, and the wife that his ex-wife is played by the girl that was in the original Halloween, Nancy. I think her name is Nancy Keys. She plays his ex-wife. At the beginning of it, going over to see his kids and gives them a mask. And there's these three type of masks out by Silver Shamrock. It's got the witch mask, you got the skeleton mask, and you got the pumpkin mask. You get the kids he gives them these little rinky-dink little masks, and they said, "Oh, we already got some." And his little girl has the witch, and the boy has the skeleton. So this annoying commercial comes on while he's at as Daniel is at his kid's house with his ex-wife. It's counting down the days to Halloween. It's 10 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 10 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock. And it keeps counting down every day. And it talks about a big giveaway at 9 on the day of the Halloween. And the kids should wear their masks to watch this giveaway. So you don't think nothing about that. And then Tom Atkins, he is later on the next day, and he's in a bar. And the girl comes to and tries to get him to go with her to find out what happened to her dad. And that's kind of strange because she don't even know him, and he talked a little bit to her at the hospital. But this is a movie, so maybe she likes the doctor. I don't know. So he goes with her with a thing of beer. He's supposed to be with his kids, but he calls his ex-wife and says, "Hey, I'm gonna be out of town. See ya. Sorry." So they go out, and I think it's Santa Clara, where her dad was last seen picking up his order. They go out to that town where the warehouse is to find out maybe what they know something about why her dad was missing or got killed. So they go out there, and of course they get a room together. The town is really strange. It's like the people are when they pull in there, it's like everybody's really looking at them and trying to figure out why they're there. It's like, they can't walk down. The car goes down the street and everybody's just stops everything to look. And you see a few of the characters that killed the her dad, standing in corners and stuff like that. So it's kind of strange. So they get to a little hotel, there, and they're acting like they're married. So they can go in there and just kind of find out what was going on with him. So they're at the hotel, and sure enough, they get in the hotel together and they consummate their relationship really quick. It's a horror film, that kind of stuff goes together. They meet another couple that they're with their son that are going to pick up their orders too, and they're staying at the same hotel. They talk to them a little bit, and later on that night, he goes out, Daniel, Tom Atkins' character, and he goes get some booze, I guess, and he runs into a guy that's giving the owner of Silver Shamrock, Colonel Cochran, a bunch of, he's telling them he's the horriblest person in the world, and this drunk is, and Daniel is trying to get as much information from him as he can. After he leaves this drunk here with a little bit of booze for his stories he told about the head of the Silver Shamrock, two guys come out of nowhere that with the suits on, acting very strange, and they kill him. They rip his head off, basically the drunk's head off. So you get a big bloody kind of a waterfall thing out of his neck kill. And then one of them gets back to the apartment. Well, the next day they come out of the place where they're staying, and they go over to visit the Silver Shamrock workplace or warehouse, whatever you want to call it. And they go in and they start asking about the masks and stuff being made there and how they can order. I think they asked why, if her dad had actually picked up his order, and they said, yeah, his order was filled. But they didn't know, what else happened with it, him after that. So while they're there, the other family that had the kid that met them at the hotel was there too, and he's a big buyer. He's a big Colonel Cochran comes in there and tells everybody that this other guy's family is the biggest seller of all the masks, and they want to treat him to a tour of the facilities. And the gentleman says, "Well, can I take my friends?" Which are these Daniel and Ellie. Can they come with me on the tour? So they said, okay, fine. They all go and they show how the masks are made, all the details that they go into, and he takes them all around the facility. Colonel Cochran does, shows them this one room, this one place where it says off duty, not really off duty, but no trespassing. The Daniel character asks what's behind that. He says it's trade secrets. We can't see what's behind that. Little does he know what's behind that. They start to leave because Ellie's walking around, and it's in the back of the facility, and she sees her dad's station wagon. So she starts to go look at it, and all those henchmen start coming out of the corners and stuff, and they stop her. So Daniel goes down there and grabs her and says, we need to leave. All the time Colonel Cochran is looking at them, knows something is up with them. And he's afraid that they're going to find out stuff. Well, they get back to the hotel room. There's another lady comes in there at the hotel. She's real kind of boisterous type woman, complaining about stuff with the mask, and she's wanting to bring an order back or something. And she stays in the hotel room next to Daniel and Ellie. Well, while she's there, this woman is there in the room. she the mask, one of the buttons falls off of the, and that's what she's complaining about. The buttons fall off of it. They got like a little silver shamrock, like 4-leaf clover button on the back of the mask, and she's upset about that. Well, she's in her bed at the hotel that night, and she's looking at the button, and she knows that on the back of the button there's like a computer chip. So she gets like a bobby pin or something out of her hair or something, and she starts picking out the electronic chips. It shoots a beam, hits her in the face out of that chip, and it makes her face all, blow and like have big old, peels her skin back. It's really grotesque. When I was a kid, it really disturbed me to see it. And there's like a spider comes out of her mouth, and she's like sitting there, and her eyes all red and shaking, and it's pretty gruesome if you've not seen anything like that in a movie before. And I was pretty young when I saw it, so kind of maybe disliked the movie because it was kind of gross. But now it's fun because I'm used to it. And then the special effects are practical back then, so you can tell probably there's a dummy now. But anyhow, the ambulance comes for her, and Daniel and Ellie wake up and they see they're taking her off, but they don't see her face. They don't see her being deformed. They ask her what's happening, and Colonel Corcoran comes out somewhere in his big limo, and he's we're taking her to the not the hospital, but to a facility that the Silver Shamrock has to take care of her. And then we got top people to help her. I guess top doctors to take care of her. She's had an accident. So he's like, Daniel and Ellie's like, not buying this stuff. They know something's up. So they decide to go to the factory at night when there's like a curfew in this town. They're supposed to be in it like at dark. It's like strange for a town to have a curfew, but it does. So they go, they sneak into the facility, and to make a long story short, which I know this is a long story, they capture the Ellie and take her to a room, and they end up capturing Daniel. And that's when he finds out that the robot, one of the people that's been like kind of strange and been killing people, walking around kind of oddly, are robots created by Colonel Corcoran and the company. They help him, I guess, keep order in the town. So he finds all this out when he gets captured. They put him in a room, and Colonel Corcoran tells them that about witchcraft. That's why it's the season of the witch. Tell them about how the witches, how the past, how the hills ran red with blood of the children in the past, and now how they was going to do it again. How they orchestrated this big plan to trick the children, as he called it. They're during that big giveaway with the masks and stuff, they're going to kill all the kids in the world that are wearing those masks and watching this show that they're beaming out of their facility. He sees the one family and their son. They take them to like a special room where they have a TV set up and a couch and everything, and they tell them they're doing a little thing for their bestseller like that. And they go in there. The boy turns on the TV, and it's got the Silver Shamrock commercial thing's gone. It's like the live show, even though it's not time for the live show. The kid puts on the mask and says, "Put on your mask and get ready for the giveaway." And he's like, they're watching their kid do all this, and he's got the pumpkin mask on, and then it shows a pumpkin pop up on the screen, and it starts flashing like a strobe type thing, and it just keeps flashing with the music, dun 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 dun. Kind of annoying after a while, but as it's doing that, the button on the back of the mask is starting to glow, and it makes something go on in the kid's head. So he starts grabbing at the mask, and the mask starts melting and stuff like that. And the kid's like, falls down, and the family don't know what's going on with it. Like, "Are you okay?" And when his head hits the ground, like all these snakes and crickets and bugs and everything start crawling out of the mask, and that was like really disturbing for me as a child, because that was like, I've never seen a kid get killed on a movie before. It's always the adults that get killed, but this one, they spared nobody. The kids were the target of Colonel Corcoran and the Silver Shamrock Company. So he's like sitting in his head, all this stuff's coming out. He's like jerking a little bit, very sadistic type feel to it. It's one of the reasons I didn't like it at the time. But now that, like I said, I've seen it and everything, and stuff that comes out nowadays, it just doesn't affect me the same way. And it's kind of neat because they did something I'd never seen in a horror before, like, have children as being victims too. So the snake stuff come out, strike the dad and kill the mom, and it kills all of them. And that's when Colonel Cochran tells them about witchcraft to the Daniel character and all that. That's what they were setting up the giveaway for, is to get all these kids these masks, and they'll put them on, they'll watch the show, and they'll die. He's all tied up, but he puts a skeleton mask on Daniel and says, enjoy the show, enjoy the show and everything. And remember, have a happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, which is cool the way he says it. Colonel Cochran says it. While he's in that room, Daniel, he can see like a closed circuit TV of where Ellie's being held and tied down. He knows that something's up. He ends up somehow getting his mask off and throwing it over the camera that's watching him, because they got cameras in his room. The people at the robots that are watching him in the other room they just see the mask over it now. And when they go check it out, he somehow attacks them, gets out of the room. And when he fights them, they got using wire, he can pull the wires out of them, and they got mustard or something, yellow and green comes out of their mouth. It's really some kind of substance he keeps them alive with. I think it's like baby food. Anyway, he gets out of there and he goes and he rescues Ellie, and they go through the place and they see where they make the chips for the button on the back of the mask, and it's made from Stonehenge. It's like a piece of Stonehenge, and they take little pieces of it and they incorporate it into the chip, and it's supposed to be like pure evil from the old days that they used from the Stonehenge stone. So they go there and he takes a big bunch of buttons that he finds at the Stonehenge where all the people are, where all the robots are and stuff, and Colonel Cochran, and throws them down, and they start shooting off beams over and killing all the robots and everything like that. It ends up activating the Stonehenge rock, which starts glowing, and it just shoots a beam at Colonel Cochran and freezes his whole head, everything, solid statue, you know what I'm saying? It's pure white of him grinning. It's a neat little thing that they do there. Even Colonel Cochran kind of claps his hand before he's killed to Daniel to show him that he has been bested by him. He gets out of the place, it's all blowing up, where he's thrown all the buttons and stuff down and activated them and killed everybody there, even Colonel Cochran. He leaves they're running out of town. The factory's on fire. They get in the car, and while he's in the car, Ellie starts to attack him. She's one of the robots. And you're like, when did she become a robot? And you're thinking, was she always a robot, even when he was having sex with her? I mean, where does this happen? And I think it happened while they were there. When they took her back, they put an imposter of her as her, just in case he did get out and she could kill him later. Well, he fights her, and they end up crashing the car because she's trying to choke him and everything. And he beats her and everything in the world, and her arms even gets down to her hand, and she's trying to strangle him even with just her hand. But he eventually gets away from her, and he runs back to the same gas station the fella at the beginning of the movie runs to, and there's kids coming in trick-or-treat and stuff, and he's on the phone trying to call all the TV stations, because this is the night of Halloween. This is when the big giveaway comes on at 9, and it's starting to show up on the TV. So the kids come in there to get candy at the gas station, and they start flipping the channel, and they get to ABC. It starts saying, everybody get around the TV, we're going to do the giveaway. And it starts doing the pumpkin thing. Daniel's on the phone telling to the television company, saying, please turn off the thing, something bad's going to happen, and you got to get this off the air. They're going to, it's going to be bad if people are going to die if you end up showing it. So the ABC station goes off. The little kid, just back then when you have to change the channel, kids, so if you're watching this and you're young, this may not make any sense to you, but these old TVs, they had to switch to another channel. You didn't have a remote. So the kid switches to another channel, say CBS, and it's doing the pumpkin, boom, 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 and all the kids there are sitting there watching at the gas station as it starts doing it, and he tells them, Daniel on the phone says, tell him, no, there's another station on. You need to turn it off. You need to turn it off. Please turn it off. It's these kids are going to die. You need to stop it right now. It's going to be bad if people are going to die all around the world. And they turn it off on that station. So the kid turns to NBC, the last station, and it's still doing its thing. Beep, 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 like that. He's getting even more frantic. He said, please, there's one more. Please turn it off. Please, stop it now. It's still playing. Please turn it off. It's going to kill everybody. And he's like screaming. He's like, please stop it. Stop it. And it goes off. So I thought that was a very, very cool ending, because I wouldn't expect it. You expect the good guy to always win. You expect them to save the day. And with that kind of ending, at the time I might not have liked it, but now I like it because it was cool, because the good guy didn't win. Some people did die, even though they were kids. I understand it's very horrific to think about kids dying, but that was a very unique story. I know he got that from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, with the guy telling everybody, they're here, get you tell, they're going to kill us all, and that's where he got his thoughts of doing that at the very end. But I showed it to my son, and he thought that was cool too. It was neat to see that kind of ending, and it paid off to me. I think it paid off. People may not like it nowadays, but I liked it. I think it was really cool the way they did that. That concludes my review of Halloween 3. I know I probably have to edit this a little bit, because I kind of got in the wrong state of mind there on a few of the facts of it. It's been a while since I watched it. I didn't rewatch it, because I have watched it several times. Not like some of the other Halloweens I had to rewatch to refresh my memory. This one, we're getting closer to the number 1 and 2, the one I like the most. So I know these 1, 2, and 3 really good. So I hope you enjoyed how I did talk about it. And I want you to come back for the next one. Will be part 9 of 10, which will be Halloween 2. I want you to watch that review too. And tell your friends, we're getting close to there. I hope we're getting in the Halloween mood for you people. Or the flock members are getting in the Halloween mood. I just want to tell you that the Badraven is your friend, and I do appreciate you watching my videos, and I thank you for watching our videos. So we're going to let you go, and we'll talk at you later, and goodbye.